You don't have a Bhagavad Gita, huh? Otherwise, I can use the database. It's very old. You should have a new Bhagavad Gita. I have. Yeah. We don't have the verse written. Nobody writes down the verse.
You write it down, but I think many know.
Many knows, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Iti matva bhajante mam. Buddha bhava samamvitaha.
Buddha bhava samanvitaha.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Mata sarvam pravartate.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Iti vata bhajante mam.
Matva bhajante mam.
Buddha bhava samanvitaha.
Buddha bhava samanvitaha. And the ladies, some volunteers.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Matah sarvam pravartate.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Iti matva bhajante mam.
Iti matva bhajante mam.
Buddha bhava samanvitaha.
Buddha bhava samanvitaha. One more. I will wait.
Can I have the text? I can read.
Give the verse.
Yeah, it's in Russian, just a second. Sanskrit also. Of that. Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Iti matva bhajante mam.
Iti matva bhajante mam.
Buddha bhava
Buddha
samanvitaha.
bhava samanvitaha. Aham. I. Sarvasya. Of all. Prabhavaha. The source of generation. Mattaha. From me. Sarvam. Everything. Pravartate. Emanates. Iti. Thus. Matva. Knowing. Bhajante. Become devoted. Ma. Unto me. Buddha. The learned. Bhava samanvitaha. With a great attention. Translation. Yes. I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Purport. Yeah, it's a little bit lengthy. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A learned scholar who has studied the Vedas perfectly and has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya and who knows how to apply these teachings can understand that Krishna is the origin of everything in both the material and spiritual worlds. And because he knows this perfectly, he becomes firmly fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. He can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries or by fools. All Vedic literature agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods. In the Atharva Veda, Gopal Tapani Upanishad 1:24, it is said, Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedamsa Gapayati Sma Krishnaha. It was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. Then again, the Narayana Upanishad says, Atha Purusho Havai Narayano Kamayatta Praja Srijayeti. Then the Supreme Personality Narayana desired to create living entities. The Upanishad continues, Narayanat Brahma Jayate, Narayanat Prajapati Prajayate, Narayanat Indra Jayate, Narayanat Ashtau Vasavo Jayante, Narayanat Ekadasha Rudra Jayante, Narayanat Vadashadityaha. From Narayana, Brahma is born, and from Narayana, the patriarchs are also born. From Narayana, Indra is born. From Narayana, the 8 Vasus are born. From Narayana, the 11 Rudras are born. From Narayana, the 12 Adityas are born. This Narayana is an expansion of Krishna. It is said in the same Vedas, Brahmanyo Devaki Putraha. The son of Devaki, Krishna, is the Supreme Personality, Narayana Upanishad 4. Then it is said, Eko Vai Narayana Asin, na Brahma, na Ishano, na Punagni, Samau, Neme, Dva Va Prithvi, na Nakshatrani, na Suryaha. In the beginning of the creation, there was only the Supreme Personality Narayana. There was no Brahma, no Shiva, no water, no fire, no moon, no heaven and earth, no stars in the sky, no sun. Maha Upanishad 1:2. In the Maha Upanishad, it is also said that Lord Shiva was born from the forehead of the Supreme Lord. Thus, the Vedas say that it is the Supreme Lord, the creator of Brahma and Shiva, who is to be worshipped. In the Moksha Dharma section of the Mahabharata, Krishna also says, Prajapatim Sharudram Chapyaham Eva Srijam Vai tau hi mam na vijanito mama maya vimohitau. The patriarchs, Shiva, and others are created by me, though they do not know that they are created by me, because they are deluded by my illusory energy. In the Varaha Upanishad, it is also said, Narayana Parodevas Tasmad Jatash Shamurmukha Tasmad Rudro Bhavat Deva Satcha Sarva Gyatam Gattaha. Narayana is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and from him Brahma was born, from whom Shiva was born. Lord Krishna is the source of all generations, and he is called the most efficient cause of everything. He says, because everything is born of me, I am the original source of all. Everything is under me, no one is above me. There's no supreme controller other than Krishna. One who understands Krishna in such a way, from a bona fide spiritual master, with references to Vedic literature, engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness and becomes a truly learned man. In comparison to him, all others who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. The Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretations on Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yeah, I always personally have the problem to say anything after Srila Prabhupada's purport. What else is there to be said? Anyway, Srila Prabhupada also wanted us to share our own realizations of Krishna consciousness. And the only thing we can do is repeat what Srila Prabhupada is teaching us. And of course, some aspects of the philosophy we can explain in our own words also. That's the sign of realization, that you can explain it with your own words. Because even parrots, they can repeat something they hear. They just repeat. But if you can explain in your own words, that means you understood. So these verses from the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse 8 to 11, they're quite famous, known as Chatushloki verses. Srimad Bhagavatam also has the Srimad Bhagavatam Chatushloki, the four most essential verses of the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. So they are spoken by Lord Krishna and also by Lord Brahma. The essence of these most important verses is bhakti, pure devotional service. And we heard this so many times, devotional service. Devotional, that is a very important word, not just service. But that service we render in Krishna consciousness, that should be done, of course it's a gradual process, with devotion. Otherwise Lord Krishna will not accept. We always benefit. No matter what our motivations might be, Lord Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita, there are four types of persons who approach Lord Krishna. Some have material motivations, they need of wealth or financial support, material facilities. Others are just curious, etc. And some, they factually search for the absolute truth. Absolute simply means there's no further cause. That means absolute. It's a final. Absolute means final. The final cause of all causes. Otherwise, it would be an endless process. Again, you find a cause, another cause, and endless. So what's the cause of all causes? That means that's the absolute truth. And that is Krishna. He clearly explains this in these 4 verses. Aham savasya prabhavo matasavam pravatati. There's no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me, just like the pearls are strung on a thread. We have our neck beads. So these neck beads or our japa mala beads, they're being held together by a thread, a string. If you take out that string, chaos. All the beads will be scattered all over the floor. So that would happen if we take out Krishna. It would just be chaos. Actually, not just chaos, it would be nothing. Krishna, he is the supreme creator of everything. Everything emanates. That's what he clearly states. Everything emanates from me, from Krishna. Everything is born from Krishna, created by Krishna. There's nothing but Krishna. Sometimes people accuse us, the Hare Krishnas. You always talk about Krishna, 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 Krishna. So to ordinary people, that sounds rather fanatical. Like I always remember when my mother visited me, I was a very young devotee, Bhakta, in the Bhakta program. My mother visited me. And then so we talked a little bit, and then she was asking, what's the time? Because she had to leave. What's the time? And my answer was Krishna. Krishna is the time. It was a little difficult for her to understand. So that's people sometimes have this concept from the Hare Krishnas. You only know Krishna and nothing else. But what can we do? Krishna is everything. We have no other choice. As more we learn about Krishna consciousness or Krishna conscious philosophy, indeed Krishna is everything. Of course, that should be explained in a way that people can appreciate and gradually, slowly also understand. But the fact remains, as Krishna clearly explains in these verses, that there's nothing but Krishna. In one verse in Srimad Bhagavatam it is mentioned, if anybody thinks there's something beyond Krishna, then that person should be assured that he is being influenced by the illusory energy of Lord Krishna. If you think there must be something else. Sometimes people also wonder, who created Krishna? But that's an illegitimate, illegal question. It is illogical because Krishna is the cause of all causes. You cannot keep asking what's the cause of Krishna. Krishna is the cause of everything. So then Krishna, he will gradually go in this chapter into a great detail explaining the opulences which he displays in this material world. Lord Krishna's opulences are not only manifested here in this material creation, but the greater part of existence manifests Lord Krishna's opulences in the spiritual world. The opulences in the spiritual world are beyond our comprehension. Just the other day, I read a little bit about Goloka Vrindavan, and it is explained Govardhan hill in Goloka Vrindavan. It is described as it consists of the most precious gems and jewels. The entire Govardhan hill consists of the most precious jewels and gems. And the Jamuna, the bank of the Jamuna, it is made of Chintamani stones. And every Chintamani stone has a different color. That's the bank of the Jamuna. This is beyond our experience of this world. So there Lord Krishna's opulences are fully displayed. Here in this world, only partially. It gives us some idea about Krishna's opulence. But the Lord, He preserves the full exhibition of all His opulences for His most dear devotees. Sometimes we might wonder why in this world the living entities are being deprived of so many things. Could Krishna not just create a second Vaikuntha for the conditioned souls? But why should He? Why should He? Just like parents. Parents have a number of children, and they're all the children. They love them all equally in one sense because they're all children. But if there's a child or two or more very, very much devoted to the parents, and other children, they couldn't care less about the parents, never visit the parents. They just live their own separate lives. Isn't it natural that the parents are more inclined to favor the most devoted children who regularly visit the parents? They bring some gifts. In their old age, when the parents are getting old, then these more devoted children, they support the parents. Is it not common sense that the parents are more inclined to favor the more devoted children? Of course. So Krishna, everything originates in Krishna. So naturally Krishna is so much more inclined to favor those who are not only surrendered to Him, but who actually love Him. This is why Krishna always emphasizes so much in the Bhagavad Gita with love and devotion. Now offer me a flower, a fruit, something simple. That again makes the point that Krishna is not in need of anything. He created everything. It is like you offer Ganges water to the Ganges river. That's what they do. They take a little water from the Ganges river and then they chant some mantras and offer the Ganges water back to the Ganges. It is like this. Everything belongs to Krishna. We give the example sometimes of a mother. She bakes, that's what you say, bakes a cake. Bakes, huh? Bakes a cake, very tasty. And then she gives the cake to the children to taste. And then one child, full of affection for the mother, she takes a piece of that cake and she offers to mother. Please, mother, it tastes so nice. So the mother then pretends doesn't know anything about the cake. Oh, yeah, but it's for me? And then, oh yeah, it tastes very nice. So it is like that. Everything belongs to Krishna already. But if someone offers something, even it might be very simple, some flower, some leaf, little water, offers to Krishna with love and devotion, then that is Krishna's reaction. He has so much appreciation for it. And he reciprocates, surely reciprocates. So naturally, in the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, Goloka Vrindavan, Lord Krishna, he favors his loving devotees the most. But of course, he maintains all living entities. That's why here in this material manifestation, Krishna also maintains all living entities. But he reacts accordingly. That he also clearly explains in the Bhagavad Gita. Iyatamam prapatyanti tam sadaiva bhajamyaham. According to how the living entities surrender to him or not surrender to him, he reacts accordingly. He reciprocates. It's a very important word, reciprocation. Lord Krishna reciprocates. The living entity has to make the first step. That's Lord Krishna's position. And sometimes we might have the tendency that we expect Krishna should make the first step toward me, and then I will reciprocate. We are waiting, waiting, and we can wait as long as we like. That is not Krishna's position. Now, his position is that the living entities, they have to approach Krishna, and then Krishna reciprocates. Like, those who want to imitate Lord Krishna in this world, they also take on that position of people have to approach me, and then I will reciprocate. That is wrong. That is Krishna's position. Everybody has to approach Lord Krishna, then Krishna reciprocates. That's the relationship. And those who approach Lord Krishna with a love and devotion, then Krishna will reciprocate also with the love and devotion. So how Krishna then reveals himself, that is the whole subject matter of these four most important shlokas, verses of the Bhagavad Gita. How Krishna reciprocates, how he reveals himself. In Srila Prabhupada, he says, Krishna says that Mata Paratara Nanyat, there's no more superior existence than myself, Krishna states. Savasya Prabhavaha, I am the origin. Janmadyasya yataha, I'm quoting Srila Prabhupada now from the purport. This verse, this quote of the Vedanta Sutra is explained by Krishna himself that I am the origin of everything. Krishna in this verse is giving the purport of Vedanta Sutra. All these Vedantists, these Jnanis, these meditators, the thinkers, they are just looking for the source of everything, and that is me, Krishna states. Then the research work comes to an end. The Jnanis, they are searching for the absolute truth. And when the Jnani, the Vedantists, when they come to Krishna, then the whole research work comes to an end. No need any longer to continue researching. Business is done. And this is what sometimes scientific-minded people, they don't appreciate this so much. They have a hard time with that term, absolute truth. No. Because science, modern science, materialistic science means the research work has to continue. It has to go on. That's the beauty of science. You always discover something new, research goes on and on and on. That's the beauty of science. Yes, we found the answer to something, but later on, it is proven it was a wrong answer. All right. But that's the beauty of it. Now we find another answer. We have another hope. But then that is also being dismantled by another scientist. So they think that's the beauty of science. This is why they sometimes don't appreciate that we make that claim with Lord Krishna, all scientific research work stops, comes to an end. They don't like it. But what can be done? Krishna makes that claim. I am the source of all sources. I am the cause of all causes. Practical realization of Krishna takes place through loving devotional service. Also a very important point. I always remember in the early days, we had a lot of association with the Srila Prabhupada himself in different places. In Germany, in Sweden, in India, in Paris, in Holland, different places. And Srila Prabhupada, he was always, at least often, he was emphasizing the point of rendering service, practical service for Krishna. Because if one renders practical service for Krishna, cooking for Krishna, cleaning for Krishna, distributing books for Krishna, talking about Krishna to others, just any kind of service to Krishna, then realization, Krishna begins to reciprocate. He shows his mercy. And one begins to slowly, gradually, one begins to realize Krishna, Krishna's presence. Krishna's presence in everything, but Krishna is also at the same time separate from everything. That's the mystical aspect of Krishna. He also explains in one verse in the Bhagavad Gita that everything exists within him, but at the same time he is separate from everything. And let us try to figure this out. Everything exists within Krishna, but at the same time Krishna is separate from everything. So he has a separate transcendental personality, although everything rests in him. So first one begins to realize gradually, Krishna is everything. But then when one further advances, one also begins to realize, understand that Krishna, he has a separate existence. He can be approached as a personality. He's not just spread out in creation. Buddha means intelligence or knowledge, wisdom. Bhava means ecstatic love. Bhajante means worship. They know Krishna, they worship Krishna. They have identified Krishna as the source of everything. That's the result of beginning to understand Krishna, bhajante. One begins to worship Krishna. Then one has properly understood. When one properly understands Krishna, one begins to worship Krishna. How to worship Krishna? Any suggestions? Do we have some suggestions? How do we worship Krishna? Chanting Krishna's holy name. This is worshiping Krishna. What else?
Hearing.
Hmm?
Hearing from Krishna.
Hearing about Krishna, hearing from Krishna, hearing about Krishna. This is also worshiping Krishna.
Always think of him.
Hmm?
Always think of him.
Yes, always thinking of Krishna. That is also worshiping Krishna. Offering arti to Krishna, offering items to Krishna. That is also, this is worship. Prayers, praying to Krishna. Oh Krishna, I'm so fallen, please save me. Yeah, it's all worshiping Krishna. So that should be the conclusion. Studying the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, studying them, trying to understand the purpose, the verses, the meanings. And then that should be the result. Then I know I properly begin to understand. When that urge arises to worship Krishna, to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that desire, that urge, when that awakens, then one can be assured I properly begin to understand Krishna conscious philosophy. This stage of transition from jnana, knowledge of Krishna, to bhakti, to devotion to Krishna, takes place, it is explained in the Shantaras, where there's appreciation for Krishna's greatness. That's the beginning. Krishna is so great. He's so powerful. Like the cause of all causes. This is why Krishna also states in this chapter, there's so many powerful phenomena of this world represent him. Among the aquatics, I'm the shark, Krishna explains. That we can remember. Next time you swim in the ocean, you see a shark, oh, Krishna. Anything powerful, of power, of majesty, that immediately represents Krishna. So that's the beginning. It is in this Shantaras that the personal conception of God begins to manifest. And there's some bhava there, bhava of respect.
Right.
Bhava means like spiritual emotions.
Are you reading from this same?
Hmm?
Are you reading from the same commentary, or are you reading from the same commentary, or it's another one?
Oh, so many different
Oh.
sources, many different sources. This is how the Supreme Person's, personal realizations begins. Now I have a quote from a conversation with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. Now Srila Prabhupada speaks. Yes, this is the actual meaning of Bhagavad Gita. Aham savasya prabhavo matas sarva pravartate. I am the origin of everything. Aham savasya prabhavo. And mata sarva. Sarva means including Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, Sarvam. Mata sarva pravartate iti matva. One who understands this, bhajante. So just the bhajana is for whom? Iti matva. When one understands that Krishna is the origin of everything, even the original demigods, he's the origin of the demigods, like the powerful, most powerful living entity in this universe, Lord Brahma. Krishna is the origin of it, Vishnu, Maheshwar. When one understands perfectly these things, then his bhajana is perfect. His worship is perfect. Everything directed toward Krishna, that means it is perfect. Any desire directed toward Krishna is a perfect desire. Any prayer directed toward Krishna is a perfect prayer. Any thought about Krishna is a perfect thought. Like that. Any word glorifying Krishna is a perfect word. That's the meaning of perfect. It is now related, connected to Krishna. That's the definition of perfection. Dr. Patel. Buddha Bhava Samamitaha Prabhupada. Bhava means love, feelings of love. Oh, Krishna is so great. This is very important. Scholars, intellectuals, philosophers, they're not usually known for their feelings. So Krishna is stressing the importance of heartfelt feelings. Then Srila Prabhupada continues in the purport, which we just read. Only a fool would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. A wise man, a Buddha, he understands the Lord's vibhuti, his opulences, vibhuti. After hearing all the descriptions about Krishna's opulence, how could anyone consider Krishna an ordinary man? So Srila Prabhupada, he raises this question. How is it possible? Thinking Krishna is an ordinary man. After hearing all the opulences of Lord Krishna, how is that possible? Therefore, Krishna states in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse 11, that only fools, they deride Krishna, thinking that he descended into this world and he took on an ordinary human form, human body. Only fools, they think like this, because they do not understand Lord Krishna's eternal transcendental nature. Lord Krishna never accepts the material body. He always appears in his original transcendental form, which is eternal. In the Bhagavad Gita 7:24, Srila Prabhupada explains, unintelligent men who do not know, that's the verse, unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. So these are some of the thoughts related to the verse today. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Any thoughts you would like to share, realizations, questions, comments?
You talk about what are the best ways to reach, or what is the best way to reach Krishna, or what is the best way we can help every people to reach Krishna?
Acoustically, I could not hear.
What is the best way to help everybody to reach Krishna consciousness?
To have everybody?
To help them reach, Krishna.
Yeah, that's not an easy question. Not an easy question. Once I suggested that we print something like a small, some kind of pamphlet or just a couple of pages printed and insert in the book in the beginning, which gives a sort of very simple overview of what's the whole Bhagavad Gita about. Just like bullet points. They get some idea. What? Otherwise, because Srila Prabhupada's introduction is already, it's many pages. And some might, feel a little discouraged. Everybody's so busy nowadays, no time. And then if they read, it might be just too overwhelming for them. But if they get some basic idea, what's the whole Gita about? What's the content, basically? Same with the Srimad Bhagavatam, I thought, in the first canto, what's the whole thing about? Just a couple of pages, they get some idea. That's one idea I had. And then the most important is when we distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, you should always endeavor to get a contact from the person, Because I was also wondering, after distributing hundreds and thousands, some countries even millions of books, there's hardly any feedback. I don't know about Finland. Finland might be different, I don't know. But in Czech Republic, I'm based in Czech Republic, there's no feedback. We distributed so many books and people don't contact us. So I was sometimes wondering, what is going on? And that's why I think it's essential that whenever possible, try to get the contact of the person. Get the email address, the WhatsApp number, anything. Just in case they have questions, we are available. You can sometimes ask them, did you read the book? No, not yet. Oh, well, try to read it, very important. Like this. Encourage. But how can we encourage people to read Prabhupada's books if we don't even know where they are? We have no contact with them. How can we encourage them? So that is a very important point for our book distributors or any devotee who comes in contact with people. Try somehow get the name, get the address, get anything to be able to stay in contact with them and to encourage them. To not just put the book in a shelf, looks nice, but also to start reading them. And then you can explain any questions, because it's sometimes these topics are not that easy. So if you have a question immediately, you can contact me. I will try to explain. I can explain. Like I remember there was one person I talked to, and he had some part of the Srimad Bhagavatam at home, and he told me it's so difficult. I'm reading about some personality who has 4 arms, and I'm too much. Then I explained to him that these 4 arms. I explained it is not an ordinary, physical body like we have. It is a different, entirely different nature. It's a transcendental form, not a material, mundane form. And then gradually, he could begin to understand. And then I told him, you see, like this, any difficulty you have with what you read, contact me, I will explain. Because our philosophy is not easy. It's not easy. That's why we talk about spiritually educating people. It is not our pride, we want to educate you, because the subject matter is not easy. It's not easy to understand. But if it's being properly explained, then they can understand. And when they understand, what did we read today then? Bhajante. Then at one point they want to worship Krishna. Any other thoughts?
Hare Krishna. I wanted to ask, how can we understand that when we do something for Krishna with love and devotion, how can we understand that he is reciprocating?
That's why we require a medium between us and Krishna. Because we don't understand whether Krishna reciprocates or not. We require someone who knows, who can understand Krishna reciprocates. And that's the spiritual master. Living entity can, in this world, the conditioned living entities, the Nitya Bhadas, who are conditioned, materially conditioned in this world, they cannot approach Krishna directly. Not possible. Krishna is too far away. He is completely transcendently situated, and the conditioned souls, they just imagine that the soul, the spirit soul, within the heart of our body, it is a part and parcel of Krishna. We cannot see the soul. Also not easy to understand what's the soul. So it is like that. We just cannot understand. We cannot see Krishna. We cannot understand Krishna directly. We cannot approach him directly. We will always have that feeling Krishna is far, 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 far away. That's why we require, like Arjuna, in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna. He was the dearmost friend of Lord Krishna. And still, when Lord Krishna took on the position of Guru, spiritual teacher, he told Arjuna, Krishna was in front of Arjuna, and he told Arjuna, if you want to know the truth, you have to approach the Guru, spiritual master. He could have said, I'm here, now I instruct you. No. He told Arjuna, if you want to know the truth, the absolute truth, you have to approach the Guru. That's Krishna's system. We cannot approach him directly. Out of sentiment, of course, we can do. But Krishna truly begins to reciprocate through Guru. He empowers the spiritual master, Krishna empowers the Guru to give at the right time the right instruction to the disciple, which will help him to make spiritual progress. That's Krishna's system. Whether we like it or not, that's Krishna's system. If we want to approach Krishna, surrender to Krishna, then that can only be done through Guru. Therefore, Guru, spiritual master, he is sometimes compared to spectacles. We cannot see with our eyes something properly, it is out of focus. Then what do? We put on the spectacles, aha, now I can see, very nice. It's like Guru. Now I understand now Krishna a little bit out of focus, I cannot clearly understand. So many contradictions, sometimes we see apparent contradictions, in the Vedas and the Vedic scriptures. Krishna, there's one verse in Upanishads, Krishna has no hands, but he accepts the offerings of his devotees. Pure contradiction. He has no legs, but he can run faster than anyone else. All contradictions. What is this? Blurry, everything is so blurry. And then there's Guru. If we approach Guru, it is like putting on spectacles, and then we can see clearly when he explains. Yeah. Even in the spiritual world, nobody can approach Krishna directly. Only through Srimati Radharani, through the most intimate, eternal servants of Krishna. Only through them we can approach Krishna. Srila Prabhupada sometimes gives the example of a gentleman, very important person. He's walking his dog on the street. And then there's some ordinary person, not so important. He wants to get the attention of that gentleman. Some business, something. Wants to get, what does he do? He's stroking the dog. And then the gentleman, oh, who's that? He shows some affection to my dog. Who's he? So that's Krishna's system. When we please somehow Guru, then we get Krishna's attention. Oh. He renders such nice service to Guru, assisting Guru in his service, so nice. He shows respect to the Guru. Then Krishna, the disciple will get Krishna's attention. Any other thoughts? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Bhakti Vaibhava Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
So the next lecture will be in the evening on Thursday evening. And then we will have on Friday, and then on Saturday morning and Sunday this program. And, we will inform if there's any changes, we will inform you, of course.
That feels what you get before the dinner. That feels what you get before the dinner. You have it by yourself.
Yeah.